Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel. So this video, we're going to talk about how they're training us to own nothing, and a lot of us don't even realize it. In this video, guys, we're going to talk about the death of ownership. Now, this is an article that just so happened to come across my phone the other day, and as I'm reading it, I'm like, there it goes. There goes the you will own nothing and be happy. But this is the first part of that phrase, you will own nothing, because they're training us for it right now. Right now, guys, consumers are learning how to have us use subscriptions for whatever device we need. Your phone. Your phone is a subscription service, whether you believe it or not. Some people are like, well, it's a service, yeah. But you stop paying for that service, what happens to your phone? It turns into a fucking brick, right? Yeah, you might be able to use text messages with the internet. You might be able to do other options, but you can't do the main function of it, which is call, right? So now there are other things, guys, that they are training us on how we're not owning any of these things, because when they want, they can shut it down, and now it's a useless piece of an object in your home, right? So we're learning how to do this through way of subscription, but we're not onto it. We weren't privy to it. And so when I read the article, I'm like, and so before the article, I was thinking about it. Well, iTunes, for example, you know that if you owe iTunes money for whatever reason, right, that they shut your entire account down, meaning you can't play any movies on iTunes, you can't play any songs, you can't download any new apps. They lock your shit up so that you can't do any, you can't listen to any of the shit you previously bought. Now, music you can probably still listen to, but you can't download any new apps. You can't even update them. You can't even update certain apps if you owe iTunes any money. Now, on iTunes, Apple TV, theoretically, I can't play any movies if I owe them money. Let's say it's $1, right? And you owe them that $1, they'll lock your shit up. And then you can't play any movies. I couldn't play any movies on my laptop for years. But I'm like, but I own it. I paid for it. Well, you owe us $1, so we lock up your entire account. Now, again, guys, that's death of ownership. You think you own that movie? You don't. Yes, you pay $25 or $5 or $10, $15, but you don't own it because they have the right to lock you out, because in that fucking agreement that no one reads, all of that's in there, right? So the subscription service, guys, is becoming a popular thing amongst companies. They are running our lives with subscription services. Look at video games, for example. Hell, if you don't have certain subscriptions with certain games, you can't play the game. If you don't buy the in-purchase apps, you can't advance in the games, which I think is, bullshit, but it's clever because you're making money on both ends. You made money on selling the game, now you're causing gamers to fucking buy in-purchase apps, right? Or in-app purchases, sorry. Now, this is a hypothetical, right? So in the article, they made a good point. Let's say you want to have your coffee brewed in the morning, but to use Keurig brewing services in the morning, you got to pay $5 a month, or let's say $5 a week, to get your coffee to brew automatically 7 o'clock in the morning. They're not doing this now, but again, it's hypothetical. So now, 7 o'clock in the morning comes, your coffee's brewed, you rock and roll, you go out the door. But let's just say you don't. You forget it. They lock the entire brewing service up, meaning you can't even brew your coffee until you pay that $5 service that you got accustomed to. But because the company got accustomed to that money, they upped the ante without you really knowing. And so now you have to pay for this brewing service to get your coffee made. At first, it started out as a cool idea. It started out as a cool thing to get your shit brewed in the morning with this extra charge. But because Keurig got so used to getting that money, they're like, well, we should make it automatic. So they have to pay us $5 a month just to use this machine. So now, you bought this Keurig for $220, but now you can't make any coffee because you need to add the subscription service to it. Now, that's a little far-fetched. Some of you are thinking right now, that is out of control. That is the direction we're headed in, because a lot of these companies are learning how to use subscription services to own your shit. Now, with the exception of cars, which I see that coming with cars in the near future, especially electric cars, you miss a payment, they shut your car down. Yeah, you put 30 grand down on a car, but of course you miss a payment, they shut it down. That's bullshit. And Ford is already looking into that technology. So it's right around the corner, guys. You're going to own nothing. The last thing they're probably going to try to take away from us are homes. Now, granted, if you look at micro apartments here in the city, you're paying $1,600, $2,200, in some cases $5,000 for a micro apartment, which is like super small, man. So imagine they have you paying this to live in a micro apartment, something you do not own, right? And with homes right now, I can see real estate companies trying to implement something where the home is not exactly yours or the land's not exactly yours. That's going to be a few years down the line. I'm probably talking about maybe another 100 years or so down the line where they start doing shit like that. Right now, it's going to be hard for them to do it. But when they gain momentum and they start purchasing land by the millions, then it's going to be an issue. And then you're going to have to rent to live on that land. And that land's never going to be yours because it's going to be owned by a corporation. So that's a subscription service to live on a land that sort of feels like yours, but not really. And then they try to throw the bullshit in there. Well, you don't have to own the land to actually enjoy it. They're going to start starting that bullshit. It's all a problem, guys. They're training us right now, or they're training the future generation, rather, because we will be long dead before this actually takes a hold the way they want it to take hold. They want people to own nothing, but only through subscription service, so that you don't really own the device. Again, when they start locking up phones like they do if you miss a payment, I haven't missed a payment on a phone, but I've been told you missed a payment, they can lock your phone up. Now your phone's essentially useless. The only thing you can do with your phone is call 911. And some phones, they won't even let you use the internet, right? So that's some crazy shit, and that's the direction we're headed in. So here's the other thing too, guys, with a lot of the devices or things you're going to buy that are contingent on a subscription service. A lot of these companies are making more money on a subscription service because, for example, let's say your Apple Watch. You buy this Apple Watch for $200, but now you need a subscription service to actually run the watch, to run certain features. They're double dipping. They got the $200 from you, and then they get the steadily monthly service out of you for your watch. There's a watch device that I use called Whoop. It's an activity watch, sort of like a Fitbit, but it's straightforward Fitbit style watch. And I paid, let's say, I think it was like $80 for the device, if you will, and then you have to pay for a subscription service to use all the other features on it. So essentially, guys, if I stop paying for the features, that device is useless. Meaning I can't even turn my phone on, look to see what the device is doing. It don't work if I don't pay for the feature. So again, guys, they're double dipping. Apple Watch is double dipping. This Whoop watch, which looks like this, they're double dipping. The double dipping is what they're doing because they're making you pay for the device and pay for the service, right? So this is the problem with owning nothing. We're getting there because essentially, guys, if you don't pay for whatever the service is, whatever device you bought is rendered useless until you pay for the service or the subscription. Now, lack of ownership right now is iTunes Movies, Microsoft apps, a lot of photo apps. You can't buy the software anymore. You have to download the software and then pay for a subscription service. And if you don't pay for the subscription service, they can lock you out of your previous work. Some of these apps do it, not all of them. And so that's craziness, guys. Imagine having fucking Microsoft and now you have to pay monthly to use it. You can't own the app anymore. So they're taking that away from us slowly but surely. They're taking that away from us in app form. They're taking that away from us in movies on iTunes or whatever you might be using. They're slowly building up, guys, to bigger items. Now, phones are the biggest item so far. I guess like the camera I'm filming on, not yet. I don't see them ever doing that with cameras, really. That's a bit hard one to do. But everything else, guys, they're trying to create lack of ownership. The death of ownership is starting in this generation. And a lot of us didn't even realize it. We didn't even recognize it, that it's not really ours. Right? So as soon as they want, they can lock it up. As soon as, hell, you're fucking on YouTube talking about some shit they don't want, they lock up your phone. Now you can't film any videos. Oh, word? They lock up your internet. They don't like what you just said. Man, that dude's an asshole. Let's lock his internet up. So now you don't even have internet access. Taking ownership away, guys, gives us less control and gives them more control. Therefore, in a lot of cases, what it does for a lot of people is realigns their behavior. Because now they're like, well, if they took your phone away from you, if they took your internet away, they took a lot of the shit that you use because they have more control, you're going to behave more now. And wait till that hits food. I mean, food's going to be a while before it gets there, but ownership of food is going to start disappearing very, very soon when they start looking at these farmers or independent farmers and going, man, these guys are growing their own food and starting their own society. We got to crush that. We got to make sure that that doesn't fucking grow, or that idea doesn't grow to more people. That's going to be next soon. But this is definitely, guys, going to be something bad down the line. Again, probably not in our lifetime or our kids' lifetime, but definitely our grandkids or great-great-grandkids' lifetime. This is something that they're going to put a kibosh on with ownership. They're moving slowly, but nonetheless, they're moving in that direction so that we can own less items, so that we can finally get to the you will own nothing and be happy. Anyway, guys, hopefully this video wasn't too confusing. This is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.